Have you ever wondered where all your text messages go and who could see them? Maybe who can maybe listen into your different things microphones, such as maybe a phone with a microphone right here or the camera on it. Who could maybe look into that, or maybe one of these Amazon Dots, I think is what they're called, that just came out recently. They're kind of a nice little thing. They're cheap and a lot of people buy them. Built-in mic, which is what you use talk to the AI in it. And have you ever wondered, like I said, where who can maybe listen to this and what they can maybe do with it? For my speech, I used PBS, CBS, and Washington Post. Those are my main resources. And I also did this on my government problem-solving paper, which is NSA surveillance. And many of you use your phone and you don't even think about who it could be saving or everything and who can look at this info. And like I said, the Amazon Dot, which is a very big thing, many people have it. They don't think about maybe who could listen in on the mic on that thing, or like I said, your phone. Who do you know that leaves the house without this? I don't know many people. There are many girls I know that would probably die, and even my best friend who would die if they don't have a phone with them. So, what would you ever think would happen if somebody could listen in on this if you have it with you constantly? So with this in mind, I want you to see how complex this NSA surveillance is and how damaging it could be. So, starting back before everyone knew about the NSA surveillance, all this was done without the public knowing. The NSA also denied multiple allegations after they were caught surveilling people, which is the head of it, James Clapper. He lied to Congress under oath, and he was not held accountable for this. If I was on an oath and I lied in court, I would be punished. And he got off scot-free from what I found. And back then, before that, they didn't need a warrant. Up until recently, there's no need to get a warrant. All this data was illegally collected, and they did what they want. And they collected so much data, and still do collect so much data, that they have a data center that was built by itself just to store data. And I'm not talking like a little small warehouse out in the middle of nowhere. It is a big, sizable building that is very heavily guarded and is pretty shrouded in secrecy. Even though you can find the building plan and stuff like that, you're not going to get anything out of it, basically. You don't really know what it is, other than that it stores all your data. And many people would like to argue about the surveillance, that if you have nothing to hide, don't worry about it. Well, that is, I'm not going to lie, it's true. If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't worry about it, but it's kind of like the cops just barging into your house and just looking around without a warrant saying, if you have nothing to hide, don't worry about it. Well, I don't. It's just that wouldn't like somebody going through all my stuff that it's mine. I own it. I don't think you need to look through it. And that's kind of what the NSA does. And I just don't think that is right. And like I said, up until recently, this was not known to the public. Nobody knew what was going on. You didn't know all this data was being collected until a guy named Edward Snowden came around. He was a whistleblower, which means that he gave out information, showed it to the public that would get him in trouble, basically. And because of this, the U.S. government he was wanted by the U.S. government, and he still is wanted, but he ran to Russia and now has asylum in Russia. And he is viewed by many people. Some view him as a hero, some view him as a villain. I view him as a hero because of what he released. If he hadn't released it, we still would know that being surveyed. Other than that, he did release some information that I don't think he should have released. Could endanger some people. That wasn't about the surveillance. But other than that, I think he is a hero for what he did, showing the U.S. government that they can't just do what they want and they have to be responsible just like everybody else. And so next, I'll be talking about the effectiveness of this surveillance that was being done. It's not very effective. I'm going to be straight up with you. It's the choice basically between freedom and protection. And there's a choice, like I said, freedom or protection. I like to choose my freedom and rights because that's what was promised me by our Constitution and the Bill of Rights, etc. And it's not very effective. Like I said, they can only find evidence of stopping it at most. I think it was 5 events. And it collects so much data that I think it'd be hard to find something useful. If you have to have a separate big building to hold all that data, I mean, obviously, I could be totally wrong with this. I don't know. I don't work for them, but they could use a keyword or something like that. But to me, it just seems mind-boggling that they can look through all that data, and you don't know who could look through that data. Like I said, that's kind of what's scary about it. And the costs. It could save a lot of money if it was dismantled. Obviously, I don't think they should dismantle the NSA. Just the monitor, like surveillance of just the mainland and everyday American citizens. Obviously, I don't think just stop surveillance altogether. If you have a problem, if they get the warrant and they go through all the legal hoops that you're supposed to, just like with the actual search and seizure like warrant like that, then you're fine. I have no problem with it. It just, I don't think that you should be able just to collect everybody's information without knowing, without probable cause. But like I said earlier, I can't say how much this would save through money if it was dismantled, because these figures are not known to the public. We don't know how much it costs. Some of it is known to the public, but not like the full cost of it. So now I'm just going to repeat some of my main points on why surveillance should stop and what can we do to stop it. Like you said, this surveillance should not be allowed. To me, it's unconstitutional. You don't know what's being collected about you. You don't know if maybe they're listening in through your phone or through your mic on like something like I said, this Echo Dot. You don't know, or your phone, which like I said, people carry with them everywhere. So that would be pretty scary if you have every conversation that you're talking to, the government hears you. And like I said, it's not effective. It has not been effective. If it had stopped a bunch of terrorist attacks and had evidence of it, I would probably be full support for it. I don't like terrorist attacks, and I don't like people losing their lives that if it could be prevented. But because of this not working effectively or stopping any huge terrorist attacks, I don't think it's worth losing the rights that we Americans are promised to have and we are very proud of having. And like I said, it could be a huge waste of money. With overspending, it could help. Obviously, the government's still going to overspend. It's just the way it is, but I think this would probably help. Maybe this money could go elsewhere. Who knows? But like I said, I can't say for sure how much the spending is because it's not known to the public. So with this in mind, the whole surveillance thing is not worth the hassle or the rights to me. Because of this, the reasons, I believe there should be no surveillance of American citizens without a warrant or a probable cause. Like I said earlier, if there's a reason, probable cause, let's say something like, obviously social media, that's open book. It's public. It's for everybody. Let's say you post something on there that makes them question you and it's threatening, then yeah, they should get a warrant and they should be able to monitor you. I think that's okay because they have a reason. But let's just say your average person just living his life, sending text messages to his family or whatever, might not want people looking at those text messages. I don't think you should have them collected and stored in a data center for who knows who to look at. So next time when you see something in the news that reports these actions by the government, you need to, like the recent Internet Act, which makes it so your internet provider can sell your search, I think it's search history, etc., stuff that they collect. They can sell it to advertisers. It's not so they can say that person's, like, for sure that was them that searched this. It's they can buy it from an area of like a town. It's a town collected all together, so you can't tell who searched whatever. It's just a town itself would have all its information clustered together, and then they can sell it to advertisers. You need to show your resentment to these things to your representatives who vote on it. Show them that if they do stuff like this, they will not get your vote. You need to take control. That's what our government's there for, to do what you believe in. Obviously, the Internet Act is not as bad as it sounds. When I first heard about it, I was very enraged, but once I looked into it, when it's all come together and it's not you personally, it's not as bad, but I think it's starting on the wrong foot, that they can maybe do more if you don't watch them. So if this is not stopped, who knows what the government will be able to learn about you, or maybe somebody smart enough to hack into the NSA and, like I said, use your microphone on your phone that you carry with you everywhere. That could be very dangerous, and who knows what they might be able to do with you. This may sound like the book 1984, who many of you may have read. Not, it's a book where the government basically watches you from the time you wake up to the time you sleep, and if you have anything that talks bad about the government, you pretty much just disappear. And it's pretty well assumed what happens to people who disappear, but this is kind of slowly becoming a reality. If you don't watch out what your government may be able to do, who is stopping them from being able to do this? Obviously, I think it wouldn't happen here in America, but you have to watch out, and like I said, keep your representatives and senators, keep them reliable for what you believe in, and make sure none of this happens.